She said, "I think we need some time apart," right before her ex returned to town. I replied, "Okay." 6 months later, she texted, wanting to meet. I responded, "I'm with someone new now." That night, she was pounding on my door. I'm a 28-year-old guy, and I need to get this off my chest, because I'm still piecing it together. My friends are split on whether I was too harsh, but I believe I did what I had to do to protect myself. Emily and I were together for 3 years, sharing an apartment for the last year and a half. On the surface, things seemed solid, but looking back, I see the warning signs I ignored. Her intense panic if I didn't reply to texts within an hour. The sharp jealousy over my female friends from the start. These were small, easy to brush off. Then one evening in March, she dropped the bombshell. Staring at her phone, not me, she said, "I think we need some time apart." "A break?" I asked, confused. "What's wrong?" "I just need space to sort things out. It's not you, it's me." Classic line, but here's the context. Her ex, Ethan, had just moved back to town. She'd mentioned it casually a week earlier, but her voice was off. "Oh, Ethan's got a job here. Funny, right?" Funny, sure. I didn't argue or plead. Part of me was exhausted from tiptoeing around her moods. "Okay," I said. She looked up, shocked. "That's it? Just okay? You want space? I'll give you space." She moved out the next week, leaving half her stuff because it was just a break. Right. Here's where legal realities hit. Our lease was airtight, both our names on it, making us equally responsible for the full rent until it ended in 8 months. She assumed I'd cover her share while she figured herself out. Wrong. I contacted our landlord, a no-nonsense guy. He pointed to Clause 10 of the lease. Both tenants are jointly and severally liable. "I don't care who pays, as long as it's paid in full," he said. "To get her off the lease, you both sign a termination agreement and pay a 2-month penalty fee. Otherwise, she's on the hook." I paid the full rent the first month to protect my credit and avoid eviction. Then I sent Emily a certified letter with a lease copy, highlighting her 50% obligation. 2 weeks later, her Instagram told the story. A photo of her and Ethan at our favorite cafe, captioned, "Sometimes fate brings people back together." I screenshotted it, not out of hurt, but for documentation. I texted her, "Hey, I sent a letter about the lease. Since you moved out, you owe half the rent. To be removed, we need to sign the termination with the landlord." Her reply, "Can't this wait?" I'm swamped. "Rent's due on the 1st, I texted. "You're legally responsible." Silence. She dodged meetings and refused to sign. So I saved every text, every Ethan post, every refusal. After the 2nd month of her non-payment, I sent a formal demand letter for 2 months back rent, drafted from an online template, to her parents' house, her last known address. She called, furious. "What's wrong with you?" she yelled. "I'm following the lease we both signed," I said calmly. "You left the apartment and your obligations. I can't afford it." "Then sign the termination papers, or this debt goes to collections and hurts your credit." She came over the next day, livid, but signed the agreement. As she left, she tried for drama. "I can't believe you're so heartless." "You wanted a break," I said. "Breaks have consequences." Then her stuff. Items left over 30 days after a tenant vacates are considered abandoned under state law, but the landlord had to send a formal notice. I worked with him. He sent it to her parents' address, giving her 15 days to collect. She ignored it. I boxed her things, donated them to a local charity for women, and got an itemized receipt for taxes. I sent her a copy with a note. "Your items are helping women in real need." Ethan texted me. "Man, you've got issues." "No issues," I replied. "Just following the law." By June, I was thriving. I started dating Claire, a nurse with a grounded warmth that felt like a revelation. Life was good. Then Emily's texts began in July. "Hey, how's it going? Been thinking about us. I messed up. Can we talk?" I replied once. "I'm with someone new. Wish you well." 20 minutes later, she's banging on my door at 10 p.m. I opened it, chain on. It's late, Emily. She was a wreck, makeup streaked. You can't just move on like that. It's been 6 months since you left. We were together 3 years. We were, I stressed. You ended it. I said a break, not a breakup. A break where you moved in with your ex. That's a breakup. She sobbed, the raw, gasping kind. Ethan and I split. He was a fraud. That's rough, I said, voice flat. But it's not my problem. You need to leave. How can you be so cruel? I loved you. Emily, my girlfriend's asleep upstairs. You're upsetting her. Leave, or I call the police. That set her off. She screamed I'd ruined her life, called me petty, accused me of maliciously donating her stuff. I pulled out my phone. I'm calling the non-emergency line for harassment. Go. She kicked the door, yelling I'd regret it, then left. I made the call, got a police report number, just in case. The next day, I had 47 texts, apologies to threats. I saved them all, then blocked her. The harassment ramped up. She showed up at my gym, bumped into me at my coffee shop. Then she went too far, calling my workplace, telling my boss we had a personal issue, and she was worried about my mental health. My boss, a solid guy, called me in. I showed him everything: texts, police report, non-payment records. He was stunned. Get a restraining order, he said. Yesterday, I hired a lawyer who said I had a strong harassment case. She drafted a cease and desist letter sent to Emily's parents' house. Her dad called, angry. She just wants closure, he shouted. She chose her closure when she left, I said. She's harassing me. If it continues, I'll get a protective order. He hung up. Direct contact stopped, but she started vague social media posts hinting at emotional and financial abuse. Claire, my girlfriend, was my anchor, but I saw the strain. This is heavy, she said one night, voice shaky. It's starting to scare me. Maybe your boss is right about the restraining order. She was right. I'd been too passive. 2 weeks later, my hesitation bit me. Emily escalated, targeting Claire. She sent an anonymous, concerned parent email to Claire's hospital, ranting about my abusive behavior and how Claire was endangering patients by dating me. The hospital director, who knew Claire, saw through it but had to follow protocol. Claire called, furious and scared. She tried to get me fired. This is too much. That was it. I gathered all evidence, texts, posts, the false report to my boss, the email to Claire's hospital, and we went to the police together for an emergency protective order. The detective was clear. This is textbook stalking. You've got plenty. They issued a temporary order that day, pending a hearing. A sheriff would serve Emily within 48 hours. But that night, before service, she parked outside Claire's apartment, staring at her window. Claire called, whispering, terrified. She's out there just sitting in her car. Call 911, I'm coming, I said, heart racing. When I arrived, 2 police cars were there. Emily claimed she was lost and checking her GPS. An officer recognized me from my report. Is this the person in your filing? Yes, I said. She's lying. This is my girlfriend's place. She's never been here. She's stalking us. We're scared. The unserved order didn't matter. Her actions were stalking. They arrested her. As they cuffed her, she screamed, "This is what you wanted, to destroy me." I didn't respond. Claire came out, shaken but firm. You pick some winners, she said with a weak laugh. Used to, I corrected, arm around her. Later I got a call from an unknown number, Ethan. Drop this, he growled. You're making a mistake. Is that a threat? I asked. It's advice. She's unstable. Walk away before this gets worse for you and your girl. Are you threatening my girlfriend? Just be smart, he said, hanging up. It wasn't about her. It was a cover for himself. I saved the call and reported it to the detective. At the hearing, Emily's lawyer tried painting me as a vengeful ex, but my lawyer presented a clear timeline of harassment. The judge wasn't swayed by drama. Miss Emily, he said. Your actions aren't those of a heartbroken ex, they're criminal. 2-year protective order granted. Emily broke down, a shadow of the woman I'd loved. It felt hollow. No win, just loss and relief. Claire was waiting. It's over? Over. Good, she said, squeezing my hand. Now we move on. 3 months later, peace. Then my lawyer called. Emily's lawyer reached out. She wants a mediated meeting with you both present. No way, I said. Listen, she says she has information on Ethan, part of a criminal investigation. She'll sign a 5-year protective order extension for a 15-minute meeting to give you context she says you deserve. Claire was firm. You owe her nothing. It's a trap. It's not for her, I said. It's for us. A 5-year guarantee of calm. If she's lying, our lawyers are there. We agreed reluctantly. The meeting was in my lawyer's office. Emily looked better, steadier. Thank you for coming, she started. I've been in therapy for 3 months. I'm not asking for forgiveness, just explaining. She paused. Ethan didn't just come back. He extorted me with private photos from our old relationship, threatening to send them to my family and job if I didn't leave you and be with him. My stomach churned. What? I was scared and ashamed. I should have told you or gone to the police, but I thought I could handle it, give him what he wanted until he deleted them. I thought I was protecting you. The Instagram posts? He forced those to sell the story. Tears filled her eyes. When he dumped me, my plan failed, and I'd lost you for nothing. I had a breakdown. That's no excuse for what I did to you and Claire. I was a victim who hurt others, and I'll carry that forever. Why should I believe you? I asked, voice rough. Her lawyer slid over a police report she'd filed against Ethan for blackmail, dated 2 months earlier, listing me as a secondary victim. They're building a case, she said softly. I needed you to know the truth, not to fix things, but because you didn't deserve lies. Her lawyer added, as agreed, my client will sign the 5-year extension. She's written apology letters to you and Claire to be sent with your consent. The meeting ended. I felt drained. I told Claire everything that night. She listened, horrified but firm. What he did is awful, but she's right. It doesn't excuse what she did to us. The fear was real. She was right. I accepted the 5-year extension, consented to the letters, and closed the chapter. 2 months later, Ethan was arrested in another state. He'd blackmailed at least 4 other women, facing serious charges. Emily testified against him. Her letters arrived, raw, taking full blame for the trauma without dodging responsibility. Claire read hers and said, I'm glad she's getting help. I hope she finds peace, but I'm grateful for that 5-year order. We moved in together last month, a fresh start. Last week I ran into Emily's mom at the store. I braced myself, but she was cautious. I won't keep you, she said, voice tight. What happened was for the best. Her therapist said she needed rock bottom to heal. The arrest, the order, it forced her to face her anxiety and depression. I'm glad she's better, I said, meaning it. She is, her mom said with a sad smile, then left. It wasn't tidy or happy, just a messy acknowledgement of shared pain. Here's what I learned. Red flags are signals. A partner's intense anxiety or jealousy isn't love. It's instability that can turn toxic. A break needs discussion, not a unilateral decision. If they won't explain, their silence explains enough. Document everything. Protect yourself legally, not out of spite, but preparedness. Use professionals. Lawyers and police are there for safety. Mental illness explains, not excuses, behavior. Someone can be a victim and a perpetrator. You don't have to absorb their pain or forgive their harm. Closure isn't one talk. It's time, distance, and healthier connections. Emily's 5-year order is active. Ethan's facing prison. Claire and I are building a calm life. It's not a happy or sad ending, just an ending that opened new beginnings. Trust your instincts. Protect yourself. Don't let someone's crisis become your burden. I'm done with this chapter. Thanks for listening.